All right, so I'm here at a little coffee shop, uh, and I'm waiting for my old manager, who I had that conversation with yesterday, to come so we can talk about what a possible plan for moving forward is going to be and how to end up being as successful as possible and building whatever he has building. Uh, but in the meantime, I'm about to start my daily journaling. I got to backtrack and actually put in the workout I did today. And what day is it? Oh my God, it's day 54 and 52. Oh, whoops. Day 52. Yeah, day 54. That's insane. Uh, but I officially put in my 2 weeks yesterday, so now everything is going to be centered around trying to figure out how to grow, how to do this all online. And so I'm going to be going to a handful of different businesses, trying to see if they can do some marketing for me. I'm going to do some work for like going to the richest neighborhoods in town and literally just knocking on doors. Uh, so there's a lot that's coming, and there's a lot of things that I want to try and figure out how to do. But because I am getting serious about social media, today I've spent a good portion of time just clipping up some of my YouTube videos. And so I'm going to just be running that way, posting as many clips from my YouTube videos as possible, recording more YouTube videos, recording like this, uh, and just figuring out how to make my vlog actually work out. And so I'm so excited, and I'm very excited about this conversation I'm about to have with James. But oh, one of the worst things, if you look at this tripod I got right here, my camera should be set up on there, but I forgot the little attachment that goes in here. So I'm kind of SOL when it comes to recording. That's why you're so far over there and to my side, because I couldn't have you on the table here. Uh, but I do want to get clips of this conversation. I think it's going to be so interesting. But also, I love this spot, the Bearded Barista. This is arguably going to be one of my staple places once I get done doing trim work for the day, to just come, sit down, clip some videos, and do whatever responsibilities I have in terms of online training, whether it's marketing, building ad campaigns, whatever. And so I'm already knowing very soon, once I get a couple thousand of revenue just coming in, then I'm going to start hiring some people to offload some of the work that I have to do. Uh, there he is. There he is. The man, the myth, the legend. Hold on. Ugh. How you doing? Uh, as a question, would you mind if this recorded?
Uh, yeah, I don't. We're just gonna be talking real business.
Well,
Well, yeah.
got a mic and everything, so.
Uh, there are gonna be some things then I think we'll need to talk about off
Oh,
off camera
100%.
for sure. But
100%.
yeah,
Uh, but for anybody who's new to this, this is my old personal training manager, but now turned just true mentor. One of the one of the greatest men I've had the opportunity to actually meet, spend time with, and get to learn about. Um, and so his mindset's really been impacting me and been helping me on my 100-day journey. And I haven't been doing the best, but he's definitely been holding me more accountable and making sure that I'm getting what I need done. So I'm just very excited to have this conversation.
dang, well, that's one hell of an introduction. So,
Hey,
yeah,
you're a
I
great
like the way that
man.
you said that. You know, I mean, you haven't been doing the best, but you're going. I'm like, it's always it's progress, not perfection, and that's what I see. I mean,
100%.
you're making progress, and I think if you just keep doing that, anything you want is gonna come to you. So, cool.
100%. And I think this transition we're both on actually plays a huge part in that actually working out, because just in the process of deciding whether or not I was going to put my 2 weeks in, I just started getting more and more excited. Like, I mean, I'm taking a risk, but actually making that jump and just going for it is so exciting. And now it's really just elevate, do the simple stuff over and over and continue with it.
For sure. Like when you say you're taking a risk, I'm like, that's true. But in reality, it's like, well, you were taking a risk before too. You know what I mean? just who were you taking the risk for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's, hey, I'm taking the risk, giving up my time that I don't get back. I'm getting up and putting my energy out to try to progress something. And is it for me or is it for somebody else? You were already taking a risk. What you're just doing is shifting that risk. You're shifting that energy towards hopefully you know, to
100%.
your vision, your goal, and then you just put some people that you align with, and hopefully you see beautiful things happen. So that's
100%.
where we're at.
And if you wouldn't mind talking about it on camera, um, what is your perspective on the whole situation that happened yesterday? Because I went and worked out at 5 today, and Shannon was there, Sam was there, um, but even like Dree and Ryan, they all were like, "Dude, what happened with James?" And like, it's at a point where it seems like everything's starting to fall down low key.
Yeah, it's what I think it is, and I'm not here to down talk or talk crap about anybody, Thrill. What I think is that you have some people who are in a system who have invested a lot into a system, and so they really think, hey, this system is going to be the thing that works. That's what
Yeah,
they're hoping. Um, I think that if you're from the outside looking in and say you're not maybe so emotionally tied from it, you can take a little bit more of a nuanced perspective of it. I think that these people that you're mentioning, I think maybe you've seen it before too. A lot of the people that have just come in and out have looked and said, hey, this doesn't seem to be working like you guys think it would.
yeah,
And my own personal belief is saying, hey, we have a bunch of very talented people, but their strengths are all unique to themselves. And so rather than trying to get everyone to fit into a certain little box, I don't want you to rely on the strengths of these people, help cover each other's weaknesses, and see if we can push the ball forward that way. Even if it's outside of this box that they're telling you to do, if we create success with this, then I imagine people will have to listen at least.
hundred
For the
percent.
past year, that's what I've been trying to do. Look at a system that's obviously been broken a bunch. I'm not the first manager that was in there.
Yeah,
They kind of have a carousel of people that go through there, which told me, hey, a system has to be broken if nobody is able to make this thing work.
yeah,
And so maybe something just different needs to be done. And we were able to stay pretty successful with it, as far as like stopping the bleeding that was going on when I first got there, hiring great people coming in with unique perspectives, and then turning it into something that seems to be moving in the right direction.
yeah,
I think just sometimes moving and, like you're saying, taking that risk. I think some people, when they're in the middle of risk, uh, they get uncomfortable with it, and it's easier to just try to, you know, to jump back to the shore you were on, get back to the cross that bridge that you tried to cross over, go back to the other side,
yeah,
and without trying to throw. Because I am not that kind of person. I don't want to throw shade at anybody, but I think that's just what happened. I think all of a sudden somebody saw a unique perspective, tried to go with it for a little bit, and then all of a sudden when the waters got rough, which is exactly going to happen in any risk that you take. Yeah, I think that it all of a sudden just went backwards. And I'm just very upfront. I'm very vocal with people, and so that's what happened. We would have very vocal conversations. We were very honest conversations, and I was not one to do it behind closed doors. I would do it behind closed doors, but I would do it like when we had our all staff meetings,
yeah, yeah,
group settings. I would voice the same things because I never wanted to say I was one person behind closed doors and somebody else in front of people's faces. And I think it's just a different direction that they wanted to go. Technically, if you ask them, hey, what happened, they're going to be like, oh, well, some paperwork wasn't filed like it needed to be. It wasn't like necessary paperwork.
yeah,
It was a paper copy of some forms that we have electronically, which if you go back through a lot of people, I mean, I wasn't the only one that doesn't have that lined up, but it was a reason, I think. And it did come right after we had some of those meetings where we had to be
yeah,
honest with them as a group, and I was particularly vocal in those meetings, then the correction started to come after that, which it's okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of my things. Is from my perspective, it genuinely seemed as if we were being told honesty is the policy. We want you to be as vocal as possible. And then you started being vocal, and they were like, whoa, we didn't say be that vocal.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, if you ask for the blade, you may get cut. So it's like, be careful what you ask for. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, I think that they were asking some things that, like asking questions to people who hadn't got a chance to see, like kind of behind the curtain, and that was where I had a unique perspective. They were
Yeah,
throwing numbers out, and hey, this is how it should happen. But I was able to speak freely because I was like, hey, I've sat in those meetings actually. I've seen what you're talking about, and this doesn't play out like you're saying.
Yeah,
Nobody is
100%.
doing this. Like nobody in this entire region is doing what you're saying. But we're promising people coming in, like people like yourself, that's there that hey, I can have you have a great living. You can make a sustainable way of living. You can impact people's lives. You can do all of these things, um, and making promises off of systems that, up to this point, I haven't seen anyone be able to accomplish. And so at some point, I'm just like, okay, if the play's not working, that's okay.
Yeah,
Maybe we just need to alter it, or maybe we just need to take the strengths of our team. Maybe a play that works somewhere like in a bigger city, maybe needs to be altered for an area like ours. And maybe people agree with it, maybe they don't. That's not up to me. Again, I wasn't the one who made the initial investments to go in and say, hey, I'm going to try to run this business according to this model.
yeah,
Uh, I was just the observer who just saw and could point out, hey, this model has not worked out at all, ever,
yeah.
like it was supposed to. Because we've promised these people we can do something for them, maybe we should. Maybe we should do something different.
Maybe we should have some integrity. Crazy
100%.
thought.
I don't even think sometimes it's integrity. I just think that, like, I got a unique perspective because I'm older than most people. So I've got a chance to make a lot of young mistakes, to have a lot of young mindsets, and then have to try to work my way through those. Um, and I think some people, and there's some things I'm trying to work through, things I'm trying to
Yeah,
mature on. I think some people are just at a different point in the process. And so it's where it's really key, like you had mentioned, mentorship. If you are going to be young and trying to navigate a world, then you better have quality mentors, and you need to make sure that those mentors have your best interests in mind, not a system's interests in mind, not their interests in mind, but your best interests. If they're going to take on that responsibility of being your mentor,
yeah,
and if for whatever reason you think that's not the case, they're probably not the one for you. It's just
100%.
it has to be real. It has to be authentic, and I think that there's great people there. I just think that any system that you're in where everyone up and down a whole chain, regardless of what they're seeing, all says yes to the person that's higher than them. Yes, that's a great idea. Yes, that's a great idea, all the way up. And there's never somebody saying, hold on. No, we don't all have the right answer. So this may not be the right way to do this, or I have a different perspective. Can we put this out in a public way? If you
Yeah,
don't have that kind of freedom, I just think that they might be trapped in something that is more about a system than less and less about the people that they're saying they're trying to serve.
yeah. I mean, that's part of the reason why I walked out of the like meeting yesterday. Is beginning that meeting. We'll keep
Yeah.
names out of it, but one was like, "Oh, we're trying to serve you. We're trying to put as much money in your pockets. We're trying to do this, this, and that." Uh, but then it was everything he talked about from that point moving forward was circling back to the same things that at least you and I, not so much some of the newer people, but we've tested over and over and over. We shifted our ways from doing it that way and saw instant success that was lasting. And as soon as they asked us to switch back, it ended up falling apart again. And so it was like, how much are you really trying to help the people who you're sending out to serve your community rather than trying to just have a certain level of control and dominance over the people who are meant to serve your community? Because it's like, I feel like that's where being able to truly delegate and actually say, okay, I see you have these skills and expertise. You go do whatever it is you need to. We'll start to see your process and mold that process to fit in with our system a little bit better instead of just saying, this is our system, mold everything you're doing around that. Because, I mean, the way I look at things is very sports oriented. But it's the same thing with like the NBA, the NFL. When you get a star athlete who comes in, they do things their specific way, but it's molding their specific way of going about things to actually the system that you're putting them in, rather than telling them, this is our system, you're going to fall exactly into this, because that's going to break down their game and it'll take an all-star down to being a regular star. But if you give them that creative freedom, it gives them that ability to grow and expand, and especially assimilate. I'd say more integrate rather than assimilate into a system that doesn't suit them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what you're saying, like it's the difference I think between playing like at high school and even sometimes college levels, and then once you get to like a professional level. Like, yeah, whenever you are at more of an amateur level, you're at a younger level, then you do need to micromanage some things. They
Yeah.
do, or those systems, that's what they do. Hey, this is what you do. You don't use the creativity. We're just going to hammer through the basics over and over and over and over. And usually that's coming from coaches who have a ton of experience. But once you get to the professional levels, you do bring in people who might give you some headaches, who might do some things against the grain, because their vision, their understanding is at a professional level. So you know that, hey, they might see something that I don't. I know the
100%.
military does that too. Jocko Willink talks about that. Is he has people on his team and he has this overall vision of what needs to happen. Well, he'll bring, hey, here's a problem. But then what he goes to his people and just says, here's the problem. How would you solve it? Instead of saying, I'm going to micromanage step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to check in with you every 5 minutes to make sure you're doing steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and see how it works in the back end. No, he says, I brought you in because of who you are. You're on this mission, this team, whatever, because of who you are. Here's the problem. How would you solve it? And I think doing what we do, the ones of us that have outside of this place had the discipline and to put the time, the knowledge, the effort, blood, sweat, and tears to get ourselves in a place of real health, and even help other people do that. I think that we're not coming in with just an amateur level of looking at things. Like you're bringing me in because I've done this before, and I'm coming in to talk to people who have never done this before. And so when they're advising, when somebody who's never done a process before is advising me on the best way to do that process, it is difficult because I'm like, oh yeah, when I was early in the process, I did think like you. I realized quickly that that is not a feasible way to do this, and I was able to pivot. And that's what it is. And even the gentleman you're talking about, I think he's a very high integrity guy. I think that his heart is in the right place, and I think that if he was outside of a system, I think that that gentleman, I mean, could take over the world if he wanted to. But I mean, and he's just chosen, he's bought into the system that he's in. Fantastic. I hope it works out wildly for him. But from what's seeing that's actually happening, as far as the getting to see the numbers, getting to see the results, talking to people who were in my positions in other clubs, talking to people with the boots on the ground and asking their opinions, it was universal. Like everyone says the same thing, has the same issues, different markets, different cities, very diverse group of people. Everybody had the same thoughts. I'm like, okay, you should probably listen to your players if they're all telling you the same thing.
Yeah.
But there's not a whole lot of room for that. And I think that I said, I'm going to die on this hill. I'm going to keep saying what I need to. And if it gets me to the point where I'm out the door, then I'm out the door.
Yeah.
This is not the end all be all for me. I'm living for a purpose. I'm working for a purpose, not for a particular paycheck from a particular place.
100%.
So it is what it is.
I dig that. And I mean, I'm definitely in that same boat where it's like, so many people have asked me like, oh, how long are you going to stay at Crunch? How long are you going to do this? Whatever, whatever. And I've always been like, don't get me wrong, it's great. I enjoy the environment. I enjoy the people, but it's like, I just have larger dreams. I want to serve more people. I want to be able to go to that next level. And so I feel like that's the beauty of this entire situation for the both of us. One, everybody I know at Crunch that I've brought you up to, they're all like, he's a great guy. Like, if I could, I would train with him. Like, he's amazing. So you already have the reputation. You have the ability. You have the mind. So it's like, and I don't even want to say like it'd be greed, but even to the point of like, if you were just more willing to chase money a little bit more, you could easily be a millionaire by now, like without a shadow of a doubt. And so it's like, no matter what avenue, no matter what race you choose to step into right now, I know you're going to do well. And it's literally just, what is that going to take in the moment? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's relinquishing fear is all it is. I mean, I appreciate you saying that, and I've got a ton of people that have reached out. I've got a bunch of people who I've like worked with, was able to lead, people that I've trained before, just people who knew me in passing. Like all university have reached out, and they couldn't have been any like more caring and nurturing with what they're saying. And so like I really felt overwhelmed by hopefully the impact that I've had on people, because all of you have had the same, if not a greater impact on me. But having this experience, I wouldn't trade this year for anything.
Yeah.
Because meeting all of you and walking through this process, seeing a great culture like you see up there, and what it could be, and then seeing, hey, if we just took a few of these things, these obstacles out of the way, this thing could be fantastic. This could actually be a culture of people who wanted to be mentally, emotionally, physically fit.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could be the staple. We could be the beacon here in this city where people come to feel that. I mean, yeah, I realized, hey, I need to relinquish this fear, or I need to move despite it to build what it is that I see that that place could have been. So I'm
Yeah.
like, if you see that it's possible, then what's stopping you from being the one to go and do it? Oh, just getting out of your own way. Really, that's it. So, I mean, I figured this was coming. Like to me, I was probably out like next month anyway. I'd already had some conversations with a couple of people, just saying, hey, I'm ready to take that leap, take that jump. It was hard for me to leave because I loved that place. I love the culture. Um, that we were able to put together. Slowly, you do see that starting to erode.
Yeah.
I think fear has taken over some other people, and so when all of a sudden you start tightening the reins and then tightening it so much where you see people in other positions had already started to leave even before this. We saw a lot of people who had been there for a long time just all starting to exit. I'm like, okay, this culture of what this was for this past year is not it's not going to sustain anymore, and
Yeah.
so if there's not a place for what it is that my talents can do here, I would like to go somewhere where it can. If that place doesn't exist, then I'm going to go create that place because I believe that much in what it is that I'm saying. And I'm not just going to be the guy that talks about it. I'm going to
100%.
put my money where my mouth is. And hopefully, what it is that I'm trying to build is going to show that this guy is not just saying this culture can exist, but it actually will. And then from there, if I prove myself, I'd like to bring the talent that I found and say, hey, can I create the place that we were trying to build over there? Can I create this with you? Here's a
Yeah.
part that you might be able to be in if you want it. Here's how your talents would fit. What do you think about it? And then hopefully build a community. That's really what I'm going to try to do, is build a community because they
Yeah.
have the makings for one up there. They do. You put the corporate out of it and you put the community back into it, that place would thrive. But that's my opinion, and I'd like to prove that theory.
I mean, one thing is you got a lot of belief back in you, because like I said, I talked. She was already like, figure that out with James. Was like, oh, isn't James doing da 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 da? And I was like, James asked me to not speak on anything too much, but like, why do you ask? And he was like, well, today is Ryan's last day at Crunch, and he was like, I'm just waiting to hear back from James, so I can probably integrate in that. Yesterday, brought it up to me where he was like, yeah, I'm really interested in what James has going on. So it's like, the help is there.
Yeah, oh,
There's
for sure.
bodies
Well,
ready.
because the difference, and I'll share just a little bit, the difference of what it is that I'm trying to do is to say, okay, I'm going to bring you in, and I'm not going to say, hey, you're going to work under this system, and I'm going to mentor you while you give me everything that you make off of this, and one day I'll get you somewhere. From the beginning, to me, I'm going to say, hey, this is going to be work. This is exactly what it is I am doing, and this is what I've done that's shown to work. I'm going to show you how to do this.
Yeah.
We're going to build this at the same time. I'm just going to help if you have questions or we want to sit down in places like this so that we can have like traditional like working time, just whatever, so that we have uh, focused moments to be able to start building. Let's do that. But I would like to show anyone who believes like we believe that you can move your body to better your life, that you can read and ask questions and talk to like-minded people to help better your life.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to find those people and say, hey, will you help me build this community? This is how you can monetize it so that you can make a living while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Here's a way that you can use new technology to be able to help you do that. And here's a way that you can start up without having to put a dime into it right now. And you're willing to put your effort into it. Here's how we can build this system. Then that system is going to help fund the next step. And I can show you how to just keep taking the next steps so that if you come in, you know a system that you can take with you anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't want you to come in and say, if you're with me for the next few years, I'm going to build you up through my ladder so you can eventually be something. I would like to help people get so good at what they do that they could just say, hey, if I wanted to, I'm going to go start my own. And I'm
100%.
like, great, because my goal is to get as many people in this city as healthy as possible. So if you can do that better somewhere else, great. Or if you're saying, no, I believe in where you're going, we share visions and both of our ideas are flourishing here, let's keep building together, let's keep growing this community. Great. But what I want to do is give trainers the tools to be able to do for themselves so that they're never taken advantage of like that. They're never put in a system where somebody is saying, hey, you're going to come do a whole lot of free labor on the hopes that you're going to make money on the back end.
That's
call it what you want, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm promising you potential money, but I'm asking you and holding you to a standard like I'm paying you that money already. I'm like, that's not okay, because the fruits of those labors are, I have to be careful when I speak so ubiquitously. I imagine that there are like, in each place there might be one person who might be hitting somewhat close to that, but it
Yeah.
is definitely not the norm. You can't tell 15 people something works and I can prove it because one person is doing it. Because when I went and looked back into it, I'm like, oh, the only reason that one person is doing it is because the lion's share of the effort was put into them for a certain season, and so a lot of these people that are doing that well didn't even put the effort in themselves. Other people
Yeah.
built them to where they were at. So now that you can point and say, well, look, they're doing great. And I'm like, the system doesn't work for almost everyone. If it works for one and not all, to me, that system doesn't work.
Yeah.
I would rather build something that works for the 99. That's it. I would rather most of us eat, because then we can figure out how to help the stragglers.
Mm-hmm.
We can find their strengths and say, okay, maybe this portion isn't for you, but you still fit in the community. I can show you how to, maybe you can help with do this part or do this part while we do the parts we're strong at. And
Exactly.
everyone still gets to eat. But it's a different style of thinking, I think.
So with that, I'll ask, do you want to stop this so that we could actually talk business, or would you actually like? Because I think that's a perfect segue into what is it that you're specifically trying to do, and you already broke some of it down. But if you want it on camera, I mean, there's a free clip to put on social media here soon.
Yeah, I don't mind talking about what I'm doing on camera at all, because essentially what it is I'm, if I was to have to break it down into just a single soundbite, is I am trying to build an actual community where people feel like they can become healthy in every aspect of the word. They can become emotionally fit, mentally fit, and physically fit. The people who say, I know what to do, but I just can't get up and do it. I don't have the time to do it. I've got kids and I've got ADHD and I've got these medical conditions, and people who feel like they're excluded from being able to be part of a healthy world. I want to create a community where they can come in and say, hey, it's going to be just like we talked about at the beginning. It's going to be progress, not perfection. But as long as you stay here with this community, you will have a support system that will help you keep walking as healthy as you can be on a daily basis without having to be perfect, but just moving towards the goal. That's it. Now we can talk
100%.
specifically how I'm trying to do that. We can go as far in depth to it as you would like. And then if we do get to something where I'm like, hey, we need to talk about that, in a
Yeah,
different aspect, I don't mind doing that at all.
100%. So, I mean, it was through, right?
Yes, I got the ability to build a program. I'm going to be doing some work for a high school here in town. Um, to I'm going to have a class for them for about 4 hours a day. At the end of that class, I'm going to be doing a strength and conditioning program for the students there because they don't have anything.
Yeah.
And then on the outside of that, I am going to be able to take what it is that I built and these classes, and I'm going to be able to provide those to the public.
Yeah.
And so that is going to be my goal right now, is starting with a community-based program where we're going to do uh, health and fitness for sure, but we're also going to help people, like educate them with like nutrition plans. So if you're not sure how you're going to eat, we'll teach you how to do that. And then not only will teach you how to do that, but I'd like to teach people how to use tools like new technologies to be able to do it themselves. Show them systems where, hey, this is how you can take care of yourself. If no
Yeah.
matter what your issue is, this is how we take our set of circumstances. We will use this technology to be able to navigate through those and then put together real plans for ourselves. So that it's not even necessarily the facility that they're going to be working out of, but the systems that we teach them that's going to help them grow.
Yeah.
Because then at that point, I mean, we can do it anywhere. I can take people to do these programs anywhere. Um, I'd like to do it in person, and then I'm also, for the people who are like, I genuinely just can't. I can't do it with the time slots that you have available. I can't do this. I'm like, okay, well then let me show you how to at least start making progress on your own.
Yeah.
Let me show you a small, compact version of how you can make real progress at home. I can write something up for you at the beginning, and I guess this is really like what I would like to try to push, is just to say, okay, I'm going to have a small starter program for you to get in. It's going to be self-paced. You're not going to have any questions of what to do. You will have access to reach out to a support system, but you'll have all the information for you.
Yeah.
Do it on your own time. But everything you invest, like it's going to be a real small investment to get in. I'm not asking people for, like, 100, 200, 300, $400 for a small investment, just something small, 50 bucks.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is I'm going to make sure you have plenty of value for that $50, but then I'd like to take that $50 from as many people that I can, and I'm going to use that to fund something bigger, to fund the community, to fund not only a place, but bringing in the best talent. If we can get this small base put together, and we take that base and we can bring in the people who care about what they're doing, utilize their talents, we're going to grow this community. And the beauty about it is, if you have your network of people who trust you already. Those trainers up there. I don't want to throw too many names out there just because I don't want anyone to ever feel obligated, or I don't want to throw out conversations that people either will or won't want to have.
Yeah.
But they all have their own network of people.
Yeah.
And so there's built-in trust with the people that come in, and then we all have built-in trust with each other. So if somebody comes in and they need help, but they need a help that I might know how to do, or I may not know how to do, you might be stronger at, I can let them know, hey, my community, they're going to overlap. I'm going to let you talk to my man over here, Terrell, because this is actually what he does really well. This is the discipline that he's strong in, and let me go ahead and get you here. And it's not going to be something you have to worry about, because I have a way to take care of everyone. So it's not going to be like a cutthroat, oh, I got to get this person so that I can pay this, and I got to make sure I get paid this much. No, we're all just going to work towards the same cause, and here's the pie, and this is how we split the pie. And if we do that, then we're working towards a cause, not working towards just a paycheck.
Exactly.
The treasure that comes off of it is all just a byproduct, in all honesty, unless you're just working for the money, which I think most people, that's when they're and that's when your days become devoid of meaning.
Yeah.
I think that if we come in and we truly care about what we're doing, like sitting here, like actually making great content that people might care about, giving them quality information, actually showing them how it helps our lives, we have meaning in what we do. The system becomes something real so that people are willing to support it. And then it organically grows and it can sustain itself, which is what I believe all these gyms probably started out as.
Yeah.
I believe there was a point that these places were that. But then all of a sudden the systems get bigger and bigger, just like anything. And then all of a sudden you want to monetize it, you want to replicate it somewhere else. And then it grows bigger than you can keep the soul of it, is what I think happens. But right now, I'm just trying to build something with a soul. And I'm going to do that
100%.
through a facility, group work, some small-sided group classes, through nutritional counseling, building programs with people, and really with establishing a community. That's it. It sounds like a simple solution, and to most people, I think they would think it is. We can agree, like, if you were to eat right and exercise, eventually you'll get in shape.
Yeah.
It happens at different timetables, but eventually you will. What we really need is a group of people around us who believe what we believe, it matters to them if you show up or not. Hey, I missed you. You were supposed to see her on Friday. Where were you? Oh, your kid got sick? Oh, you're talking about your daughter? Oh, well, tell her I said hello. Hope everything's okay. If you need anything, holler at me. That's so much more than just like, oh, I've got to go to the gym at 5 o'clock. If you have a community of people who care about you and you care about them, you're probably going to show more often than not. And then you show up consistently and you're probably going to get results. And then those results are going to be seen by the people that you care about, like your kids, your family, your friends. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, I'm part of this community and I can be your in. Why don't you come with me? Come in. And then you can just, like I said, organically build something real. Call me an idealist if you want, but that's the hill I'm dying on. That's what I'm doing.
No, I mean, I 100% believe it, just because James Clear talks about it in Atomic Habits, that your habits ultimately come down to your identity, and your identity comes down to partly the community you're a part of. So if we can figure out how to really build that base of the community, really get people integrated to where they're like, this is my place. Because even Whitney back in the day when Nick was still with us, she had talked about, like, this is my second home. Like, she goes home, she goes to Crunch. And I mean, since Nick left, she hasn't been in Crunch from what I've seen. But her fitness was tied to Crunch being her second home. And if we can build something like that where certain people are like, this is my second home, I want my kids to come play here, I want my kids to work out here, But then they're like, well, I'm here so much. If you want to spend time with me, you got to come to this place with me. Now we have more people flowing in, and that process just becomes cyclical. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I think that too. Once you build those communities, then you have like, because I've heard it always called as the third space. Everyone has like their home as their first space, their work as their second space, and we used to have communities like a third space. People would have like bowling leagues, or they would have book clubs, or they'd have just these events. But like our culture has taken us away from that.
Oh,
So to me, I'm
100%.
like, why not the gym? Why not a place that's going to be about your house? Why can't that be our third place? And it can be about, working out and movement sometimes. And then every now and again, hey, we're going to throw an event
Yeah.
where we're going to do something fun. We're going to play dodgeball or capture the flag. That's ultimately what I'd like to do, because there's plenty of great, like, you don't have to, I'll just put this out there. You don't, what I'm doing, I hope you support it, like anyone out there. But you don't have to. Aubrey Bart's at St. Angelo Strength and Conditioning. She's fantastic at what she does. Brandon Smith at Training from the Ground Up, he's fantastic at what he does. You have really good people out there already. And eventually what I'd like to do is build my own little corner of the world, get my community, and then hopefully tie all these communities together. Once a month, once a quarter, go to these people and say, hey, why don't we throw a capture the flag? You put a team together, you put a team together. Let's go to all these places, and then we're all going to meet up. We're going to tie our
That'd be
communities
so
together for
nice.
like, for whatever it is. We're going to integrate everyone. We are going to take our communities and say, hey, I know it's almost like having different, teams in the NFL, but eventually you're all part of the same league, and
Yeah.
we can look at each other like that. Hey, we're all towards it. We're all trying to do the same thing. Why not we? Why not you take care of your corner? You take care of your corner. I'll take care of my corner. We build up the best that we can. We get together every now and again and create a culture in this city that is, hey, health is the thing we do. If you want a third space, your first thought here isn't to be like, yeah, I'm gonna just not throwing shade at anybody, but it's not gonna be like I'm always gonna be at the bar, you know what I mean? Or I'm always gonna be on the couch.
Yeah.
You know? If it just becomes a thing with, here in San Angelo, it's not looked at like crazy that my first thought is, oh, when I'm getting off work or I'm doing this, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna go work out. I want that to be the mindset of the city. And so there's another great line when you were talking to me. I've heard before, like, in order to hit what it is that you're talking about, establishing your identity, one, you have to know who you are. And to me, what I realized, this may not be the same with everyone, is I'm like, okay, how do you figure out who you are? And then I heard a gentleman said, if you want to conduct the orchestra, you have to turn your back on the audience. And that's what I realized. I was like, James, what are you really afraid of? I'm afraid of all of these people who you're saying that look up to me, or who have at least said, hey, I like what he's doing, he's a stand-up guy, because hopefully I am all those things. I hope I am every bit, at least half of the person they say that I am. But I'm like, well, what if all those people think that you're this, and then you try it and you fail? What are they going to think of you then?
Mm-hmm.
And in reality, I'm like, okay, you have to turn your back on the idea of what people are going to think of you. And you're just going to have to do this. Fly, fail, it doesn't matter. The outcome is irrelevant. You are just going to have to do it. And hopefully in the pursuit, even if I just inspire people to do it and they do it better than me, and somebody comes along and they launch something even better than I've got, if the goal of San Angelo getting healthy in a positive way happens, awesome. That's what I'm chasing.
Yeah.
So this is the first step. Like,
Yes, sir.
I'm not trying to see the whole mountain right now. My goal is to say I'm trying to fill one class, 20 people. I want to fill 20 people with one class, hopefully 2 trainers in there. Once we start getting close to that, then I'll just open up the slot for another class. Once that one gets filled up, then another. And once we get to about 4 or 5 classes, we have that revenue coming in. Then I'm like, all right, San Angelo, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a different facility tailored to the things that you guys are wanting to see, a diverse facility
Yeah.
tailored to the interests. So if you're gonna go on a date night with somebody, instead of going out and partying, hey, why don't we go to the new spot over there? And I know they got a guy there that'll teach you how to climb on a rock wall. Why don't we go on? There's a guy that'll take us hiking. There, whatever your chosen profession is, you know what I mean? Whatever your chosen strength is,
Yeah.
hey, why don't we go do this? We can drop and do this, or hey, let's just have a thing where we come in a few nights a week. This is just part of our routine, and we go work out. Whatever it is that you want to do, we just create something like that. That's the progression I'm looking for. One class on another, bringing in quality people to be able to say, hey, you'll watch half, I'll watch half. You'll do this, you'll keep up with this, I'll keep up with this. And then once we realize it's coming in steady, it's making it's making the revenue that we want, and it's impacting the lives that we're trying in the way that we want.
Yeah.
Okay, let's build to the next. Let's build to the next. Let's sit down as all the people who's in this. Hey, what are you strongest at? What are you strongest at? All right, which one of those is the most feasible to go to next? All right, let's move to a building where we can do that. We're going to go with yours, and then we're going to go with yours, and just outline it so that nobody thinks, oh, I'm just here for nothing. You know exactly when. Our goal is to start yours, get it up and running so that we can then go to yours, so we can then go to yours. And by the end of the year, we're going to have 6 different options when people come in, all of them geared towards their fitness, all of them geared towards the community. And if we can do something like that, people tell me if you were to pay like a membership like every month or every 6 weeks or something like that, you paid a membership. But at the end of that month or 6 weeks, you're like, hey, I lifted weights this week. I'm in the 6 weeks. I feel great. I moved, but now I think I want to try, for the next 6 weeks, I want to try more like mobility, functional strength. So I'm going to go and do this. You're still paying your same membership, but now I'm going to go jump over here with him. I'm going to jump over here. You don't plateau. You don't get bored because you just have a whole diverse community of people to be able to draw from.
Yeah, and I mean that's how I already trained, like bouncing through phase to phase. So being able to scale up in that type of way would actually be extremely smart. Because like I've even been thinking about getting a True Fit membership just so I can go play basketball. Because I don't have many places I could go run and actually jump around in. Because even like the back room, the hit zone and crunch is a little bit too condensed, I guess I'll just
Yeah.
say. Um, so I definitely think it'll work. There's just so many different avenues and ways to make it happen.
That's what it is. I think everyone, like, it's easy to get lost in all the roads. Like, oh, we can do this and this and this and this and this. And I'm like, okay, we can map all that out. That's what I like about what you do is like, I've seen you with either like things like Notion, just the way that you journal, like the way that you're able to capture the things that you're thinking. I think that's fantastic. That's what it is that I need. What I'm on the other end looking at is like, okay, if this is the big road that we're on, the mountain that we're climbing, I want to be the best at being able to look at the step that I'm on and the very next step. And that's it. The first step will be this class, the next one will be the next one. I have that. And then in the background, there will always be the at-home option. There's
Yeah.
always going to be just this simple way that you can invest a small amount of money that is going to help further a cause. And on the other end, you are going to get a roadmap to do exactly what it is that you need to do without having to pay a monthly fee for it, unless you want us to continue to give you something, which
Yeah.
we totally would. But you can just, hey, I'm going to get this. I can try to take care of myself, see what I do well, see what I might need help on. So that way, if you do want to join the community after that in person and do something, you're like, hey, this is what I've learned about myself. I'm good at this. I'm not good at this. So I need to focus more on this side over here. Cool. Now we're not wasting your time. But if I can look at, I want to look at step 1 and step 2, and then I need people who says, okay, well, here's maybe a grander vision that we might be going to, or here's 3 or 4 different ways we might be able to get there, and then we can whittle it down to the one that we think is the best.
Yeah.
So that's the goal.
And so, like, what's the offer you're putting out? Because I guess I'll put it in terms of what I'm looking to do, but how I'm trying to play this a little bit. Oh, those are in the wrong spot. Uh, but how I'm kind of trying to play this game is one, figure out a simple baseline offer, kind of like the take home thing where it's like $50 for simple baseline template to a workout where it's like do some body squats, do some sit ups, do some push ups. And then we can teach you different ways to stretch to increase your mobility, do some cardio. But then one thing I'm looking at for the Bluff specifically, or just the wealthier parts of town, is some type of offer to actually just pretty much take people through calisthenics workouts, but do it while they're at home. So, I mean, higher fee, but that comes with the luxury of them being able to stay home, have a personal trainer come to them, train them there, um, and then build out from there as well. And so I've been trying to play with my offer. And so, where's your heart kind of sitting on that?
So this is what I would say. Like this is, and the more people that I sit and talk to, the more I can see the path get clearer and clearer. Uh, my initial offer is to say, hey, 2 days a week, I'd like to take an hour of your time, and I'm going to put you through full body movements. We're going to do it as a class. Uh, Depending on how many people are in that class, like if there's 10 people in the class, hey, I'll run it. If we have 20 people, we can double that, then it'll be me and another trainer. for that. And then that hour, twice a week, is yours. It's what you're saying. It's non-negotiable. This is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. For you can't make it one time, that's great. You know, Friday we'll do a makeup time for that hour. And then charging, I would say about $200 when you first come in for the first 6 weeks that you're building. That way, that it gets us the initial chance to. It's $150 for the class, the weeks, and $50 for us to build the workouts and build your nutrition plan. And I'll give you guided supplements, because it's one of the things that. One of the things that I took a little bit of issue with is just pushing supplements on people when they, I don't, I mean, not everybody needs everything.
Yeah.
I was able to get myself in shape and I took 0 supplements. I take supplements now, but while I was getting healthy, I was like, I don't need all of this.
Yeah.
Right now, I just need to change my lifestyle. Um, so building things that might be comprehensive for people and just saying, hey, this is a guide. All of it is something you can do. Here's the workouts. This is how I move our body. This is how we eat. If you want these extras, I'm going to build them on there so you know what they are. But also so you don't just walk into a place and somebody starts trying to sell you a thermogenic or a fat burner, or some things that you may not really need or at that point in your fitness journey.
Yeah.
So it'd be $200 for that first 6 weeks, and I'm going to help keep track of your journey. And then after that, if you want to stay on, then we'll cut that $50 out, unless you want us just to keep building your nutrition for you, like change it up every month, change your macros. But even then, I could show people how to do that.
Yeah.
And then at that point, we can scale it back depending on how many times you're trying to come in. We can do 150 or 180, depending on how many days you want to do. And you will just do that month to month. But you'll have that community around you. And then once we hit that capacity, we'll open up another hour. Or if we have enough people who want to do 2 different time slots, then we can look at setting up 2 different classes. But I want to make sure that the community is what's built first.
Yeah.
And then on the outside of that, it would be the $50 meal plans that comes with, initially it's going to come with 6 weeks of what your diet should look like, 6 weeks of what your workouts should look like, and what what supplements would probably benefit you the most at that time.
Yeah.
So there, and why, like they'll have comprehensive explanations on what supplements are, what they do for you, why you in particularly should take them. And so they can just go through, and then I can teach them the tools. Like if people are like, hey, I just want to do this. If you can walk me through the process one time. I floated the idea like on Saturdays, like doing a class for some people are like, I just want to pay you a one-time fee, but I want you to show me how you're doing all of this.
Yeah.
So that if I move, because we're a military, we're a college town, we're a place where people come in and out. I want you to just come and show me how I can do this, so that when I'm doing this, no matter where I go, I can set this up for myself.
Yeah.
If you want me to do it for you, you want one of the trainers to do it for you, great. We'll do it for you forever. If you want to be able to swim on your own, we'll teach you how to do that. Just in the hopes of you're just saying, okay, cool, because there is the process and there is the community. If you just want to pay for the process, we can do that. But our hope is you're going to see the community and be like, I got to be a part of something. Might as well be a part of this for a pretty reasonable price too.
Yeah.
I mean, even $200 is to come in, to have the help to reset, to go from a place where like I don't move at all, to all of a sudden have put a small bet on myself, and it took 6 weeks of my life. Because in 6 weeks you can go from being like sore and I don't know what to do, and to like, oh man, I feel great now. I've got energy. It doesn't hurt my body to move anymore. My joints are good. I feel good. It doesn't take the rest. It doesn't take the rest of your life. It doesn't take years. Doesn't take months. I can take 6 weeks and I can get you back to feeling competent and mobile again. And then outside of that, if you want to stay part of the community, cool. So introductory, that's what we're looking for. 20 people, $200 for 6 weeks worth of classes and the meal plan. And then if you can't do all of that, then we can do the meal plan on the outside. Starting with that small foundation, bring in talent, and then after that, we can build outside of that. And then if you ever want to do one-on-one personal training, that's what it is. That's my benefit now of knowing so many trainers. I'm like, okay, if I'm running this and running that, but people are saying, no, I just need the one-on-one. Right now, I don't feel comfortable around people. I just need it. Cool, I got you. You need the in-home option? I have a trainer that goes, that's what he does, that's what she does. They go to people's homes. That's what I'm saying. Or if you have somebody, I just need I need the place to work out, the privacy, where I don't have to worry about how I look being around. Okay, cool, I got you. I have a trainer that can come and meet you. And then we can help trainers coming in who are competent in the training aspect. Maybe they're not like the communication aspect, putting themselves out there. We can bring trainers in and we can help build them. We can help them integrate them into the community. That's my goal. A gym that's for trainers, so that those train, if you build the trainers will be able to build the community because they're going to care about it. And ultimately, that's my goal: is to build a great community through competent people. And that offer is what I hope does it.
And I can see it. Um, Man, there's so much that can be done with that, especially with the facility on hand, having the having the facility, the equipment, and the people around puts you in such a good position. Because one thing I was gonna say earlier is part of the thing you said you're struggling with, in a sense, and needing to turn your back to the audience for, to be that conductor, is simply like that aspect of failing. But it's like, I have no doubt in my mind that you'll fill up that first 20 class spot. But my thing is, if you put one class together and only 5 people show up, technically that would be a failure. But by time, especially if you really dive deep, appreciate the fact that just 5 people showed up. And next time you ask each of them to just bring one friend with them, like even if it's completely for free to get 10 people in there, it'll be technically a failure because you didn't reach that 20-point benchmark, just because that's that initial goal you're setting up. But in terms of moving forward, that failure was a learning lesson and a stepping stone. That's part of the biggest thing I've been struggling with lately is, actually, I've been doing well with, I should say, because I've been changing my mind frame around failure, where it's like, if you set out a goal and you set out a mark to try and hit and you don't hit it, it's not necessarily a bad thing. That just means you haven't put all the pieces together. And so accepting that not reaching the initial goal set out would be exactly what you need, because it tells you, okay, maybe my wording on this is incorrect, or maybe the way I approach having this conversation to get people in the door may not be correct. It's kind of like with Crunch Ones and me trying to make those initial sales and just getting no after no after no. I say all that to say your offer is great. I know it'll work. I don't know how many people you've reached out to yet. I don't know how many people are on that wait list. But in terms of this journey going forward, if per se only 5 people show up to day one, don't take that as a hit. Just
I
be as
don't.
grateful as
I will tell
possible.
you that the mindset. What you were saying, I think there's a bit of a language gap in the way that we're saying this. Is like when you say, like when I say 20 people, that's not a goal of mine. That's just like a mile marker.
Yeah.
It's just saying, okay, once you hit this number, then you move to the next thing. If one person showed up to that class and I genuinely said, hey, I can, because I can, I'm confident in my abilities. I'm like, if I can get you healthier, if I can get your habits moving, then to me, I'm like, there's no failure in that. I've succeeded. While another human being on this planet is going to have quality years for themselves, for their families, for their life and their dreams and their journey. Like, there's no way I could look at that as a failure. Hitting arbitrary numbers, to me, I'm like, 20 is just saying, okay, once we hit here, then I would like to be able to give the proper attention to all the people, so we'll just open up something else. But I don't define myself like by the, my successes and failures by those mile markers. They're just mile markers. I learned that by, I mean, he's super controversial. Some people love him, some people hate him, but like Elon Musk, because they would ask him about, hey, when is this next model of your car going to come out, or this next piece of technology you're going to come out? And he'll say, I think by the end of this year. Give us about 6 more months. And then 3 years later, it finally comes out. And they're like, you were wrong on the timetables. He was like, yeah, it was just, I thought that's what was going to happen. And then this happened and this happened. But we got it done because he didn't believe in the timetable. He believed in the mission. And once I heard that, and I mean, this guy, love him or hate him, I mean, the guy is the most successful man on the planet in creating the visions that he sees. I don't even care about how rich he is. He just has a vision and he sees it through. And that's what he says that he does. It's like, okay, cool, 20 people. The 20, telling people, oh, I filled a class of 20 people isn't my goal. Changing 5 or 6 people show up, I'm ecstatic. Because I'm like, those 5 or 6 people probably have 3 to 4 people at home that are watching them. They probably have little boys and little girls, wives, husbands, that are like, Dad, Mom, they're getting healthier. Or this dad works out, I want to do that. Or it becomes a staple in the home to eat healthy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that 6 people probably turns into maybe affecting another 30 lives. And those 30 lives can start to web out. And that's the community that I'm talking about. That is my only goal. My only goal is building a quality community. My ultimate goal. Everything else from there, I can adjust the game plan, and the only way that I fail is if I stop trying to build that community.
Real quick, this is exactly why this man's my mentor. This man's a genius in all of his ways.
I've made more
All of his
mistakes than
ways.
most. That's what it is. I've made enough mistakes to go back and be like, that road is not fulfilling. Even roads where I made money. Even roads where I'm like, hey, I live comfortably. Even roads where I'm like, hey, I walked through a door that now, like, I can take it easy if I want to. But the thing that's inside all of us, like, I'm only here for, I'm hoping 100 years. That's my goal. And I'm like, even then it's just a, blip in time. So I'm like, if I'm here, I don't want to be comfortable. I want to be meaningful. I want to be purposeful. And so that's it. Make the mistakes, do the things, and then chase what you want. And I see that in you. I mean, when we first sat down and I talked to you when you first came in to talk about being a trainer, like, man, this guy's got something different. He's got a thing that you can't coach. We can coach anything. I mean, coach any like standards. We can coach behaviors, practices, whatever they want to call it. And I'm like, I can't coach the humanity into the genuine drive and care and curiosity. I can't coach that into. You just have that. And so that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people like that who have unique human perspectives. Because the more diverse perspectives we have in this community, the bigger this community is going to be able to go. I'm not going to be able to speak the
100%.
same language to everybody, but some people are going to listen to you better than they listen to me. And so if you're part of the community, now they feel like they belong. That's what I want it to be. I don't want us to all speak the same language. I want us to be able to communicate with each other. But I want to celebrate our differences, and I want to use them to build something real. Hopefully you're a
Yes,
part of
sir.
that, brother.
Hey, I'm thinking it's gonna be a good run.
Yeah.
Now, are there any questions you have for me? Because also this video is just getting long. That's gonna take up so much storage. I was about to cut that.
Okay.
But no, do you have any questions for me?
What do you think, like, your biggest impact that you're hoping to make on people is?
I just really want to put power in people's hands. Because I guess this is kind of a jaded perspective, but I've never understood how anybody gets so far out of shape. Um, at my most unhealthiest, I was always lighter. I've never really gotten heavier. And at my highest, I want to say I was just under 190. But within the span of a month and a half of finding out I was that heavy, I was back down at like 165. And so for me personally, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to nutrition and diet, it's a very simple process. Eat a little bit less, work out a little bit more, and then how you play with that, whether it's a new diet, eating all low calorie, whatever, or it's actually working out more intense and maintaining how many calories you're eating, there's going to be a tipping point where you're going to get fit and you're going to be as healthy as you want to be. And so showing people that path just so that they have more power in their own life is really the goal. Because I've talked to some friends who became out of shape because that's just how my family is. I have some friends who got in shape because I saw my parents and they were out of shape and they couldn't play with me when I was a kid, so I'll never be that way because I want to be able to play with my kids so they don't feel the way I felt.
Yeah.
And so it's giving people that ability to dictate how they look, because how you look is going to impact how you think about yourself, but also how mobile you are, how healthy you are. All these things impact your self-image. Your self-image impacts how you go about your life. And how you go about your life dictates the world we live in. If every person is extremely fit, extremely content, and have a high level of self-respect, more times than not, most of the people in that community are going to be kind, loving people and try and serve the rest of their community. So if we can get people so fit, so confident, so self-respecting that they feel like I need to go out and help more people get to the point I am, the world will change. And it's like, if we can help them master the physical aspect of that, the mental and spiritual and emotional aspect will follow along. And then we're able to build the world and build a better world just from getting people to come outside and actually turn back into a kid.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
play around.
That's it. Man, you hit the nail on the head. Just to get back out and play. That is it. Man, I believe what you believe. I mean, we'll have different ways of getting there, but I believe what you believe. So if there's a way for us to work together, let's do it. And if it's just me supporting you from afar too, I'll be anybody's cheerleader who's saying, hey, this is just what I'm trying to do. Great. I'll watch. I'll send people your way. If I see that you're opening up a class, you're opening up your own studios, you're opening up your own, you're trying to clean up your own corner of the world, let me know and I'll spread it to as many people as possible.
100%.
That's
I'm right
awesome.
there with you.
Yeah. All right, brother.
Like I said, I think I mean, I'm buying into what you're saying, but we have something going on. I know people who need things like this. I already have some of my old clients who are very interested in just making that shift out, and they've been wondering how to make it so that we could still work out together. Um, so I know this path forward will work, can work, and has the potential to be great for everyone involved. And one other thing I did want to show you is I had told you about this already, but this is the workout plan that I had put together in Notion, and it looks a little bit complicated, but for each one of these, oh, whoops, wrong side. For each one of these, you open it up, and then you have your entire workout routine for the day here. You're able to track your sets, reps, weight, all that. And I'm actually going to build out on this and expand a little bit more. But for any person you're trying to like build a workout routine for so that they have it at the touch of their fingers in a system that's far better than DotFit, I already got this built out. There's all the lists of different workouts that are programmed into here. You can easily add to it. Uh, and one thing I was thinking about adding is making like an entire person profile. So it's like you integrate within the system. We just copy this template over, fill it in with your information, like this is your current weight, this is your goal, this is whatever. It'll populate a couple things, but then we can go in, alter the workout routines each person has, and we can alter the routine. The fact I'm doing this upside down is actually impressive.
It sure is.
For some reason, the workout routine templates aren't in here, apparently.
I
Okay.
got you. But I see where you're going with it for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
It's being able to utilize.
Yes, ma'am. But you're good. Go ahead. You're good. Here it goes. So it'd be here where like you have the workout routine templates, and this symbol right here shows that it's automatically populating. So if you have a workout routine you want clients to follow for a month, where Monday this is their specific workout, Thursday that's their specific workout, then it's programmed right there, and then you can go into each one of these, edit it so that the template automatically gets altered each time. And I didn't go to the editing section,
Yeah.
but this is already built out and everything. And then I have like, nope, not that one. I have like a meal tracker template as well, but this is so messy. I have to go through and like reorganize everything.
Yeah.
So like this is the diet planner right here, where like you have specific macro goals for the day. You have list of foods and approximations for how many calories it is, whatever. But then also in this bottom area, you can also add things to your shopping cart, and we can even like take some time, but program it to where it's like based on if you're picking up at HEB, Walmart, or whatever, this is how much your entire shopping list is going to cost. So it's like saving people time in that sense.
Yeah.
But
That's something we're doing. Like I'm doing too with people already who've done it. Like I give them an eating plan, but I give them the exact groceries. I give them the portions and all of that, so that there's literally, I don't want you to have any stumbling blocks. Using this kind of technology, I think is going to be just even further in that. That's what it is. That's why you want to have diverse people around you. Say, hey, here's some things that I built. This is how to do it. Here's a great way to package it. Here's a user-friendly way for people to use it. And so, yeah. And I'm excited to keep taking steps. I'm excited to work with you and people like you, because I think that we can be what it is that we were told we could promise people we could be.
100%.
I think here is the actual opportunity. If we're willing to just day after day grind it out and do it, I believe it can be, it's just a matter of time before it's real. That's it.
I'm excited, man.
Me too, brother. All right.
Oh, my legs.
Ooh.